Greetings to all who are in attendance today. My name is Amber Rose. I'm a sophomore here at Jinx High School. Many of you here today may not believe racism exists. Write that down.
No.
You may not believe racism exists. Well, it does, honey. I can take you somewhere today where you can see racism all day long. You or maybe those in your family have never encountered racism. You may believe racism does not exist in your hometown, city, region, or nation due to a lack of exposure to it. However, I'm going to share a story with you that will demonstrate how racism impacted my life several years ago. I better not see no heads nodding up in this place today. I want you to take a moment, close your eyes, and imagine moving over 4,000 miles. When I look up, everybody's eyes should be closed. Everybody, I better not even see one little eye open, because I will get off of here and I will tell you, I will come over here, touch you, tell you, shut your eyes. I want you to take a moment to close your eyes and imagine moving over 4,000 miles away from your relatives to an isolated rural area where you know no one but your parents and your siblings. It is hard for you to meet people in your new area where you relocated because it is wintertime and there are more than 4 feet of snow on the ground. So it limits you and your family from meeting people in your new community. When spring finally arrives, it is June. You meet your new neighbors and local townspeople. They are not friendly towards you and your family. Let me just stop right here. I know y'all can't take this nowadays. That's why all y'all foolish little selves are up on social media. You post a picture, you look for someone to like it, comment. And when someone does it and they comment and say something real nasty, you start to cry and you block them. You need to know how to take criticism. Like I had to take it. Racial slurs. Okay? Someone's not getting up and saying, oh, girl, you too black to be up on here. Girl, you too white to be up on here. They just telling you simply ugly. Y'all can't take that. No one welcomes you and your family to the new neighborhood. Instead, after residing in your new home, it's about 5 months later, you and your family start to experience your personal belongings outside your home begin to be vandalized. Write that in caps. Vandalized. Someone starts leaving threatening messages using racial slurs directed at your family, your parents. Contact the police. Law enforcement, the local law enforcement, which is your police. They come to your house, evaluate the damages are done to your property. The sheriff tells your parents they know who did it, but there's nothing they can do about it because the family is wealthy and the social class and status to the community is vitally important. Y'all cannot handle that. Y'all think getting out there in your little gang saying you're going to go kick somebody's, you know what, is going to get you somewhere. I was going to get you in up in the bars. And you're going to be asking your parents to come bail you out. And if I was your parent, I would say, no, you sit up in there for a weekend or two. The sheriff tells your parents to install cameras or just move. You and your family lived in fear for almost 8 years due to a racist group of people. This was a life I endured residing in Oklahoma over 6 years ago. It was traumatizing and horrific to my family and I. I never thought that around 5 years of age, my family and I would endure such hatred or be confronted with racism due to a nationality. Let me stop for a minute. Y'all probably looking at me saying, oh, you. Okay. I don't even think you can. You all light. You got fine hair. You could never go through something like that. That's where you are ignorant. That is where you are ignorant. Because everybody goes through racism. Before we moved, my mother made a yard sale. A woman came by to ask, why are we moving? My mother went into detail of what had happened to us. The woman was angry and sad about how people had treated us. The people were in the same religion as her. If y'all want to know the religion, LDS, Mormons. She made a promise to my family to write our story before we moved, which she did. The article by Chris Lee portraying the racial acts against my family, published by the Star Valley Independent, 2013. Now I'm going to put the article up. Y'all can get up, take a picture of it and read it. Or you can just stare at it. Racism is seriously a problem in society today in Oklahoma. Racial attacks have been brought against blacks in Oklahoma, in the Oklahoma community. In 2013, Terrence Crutcher was fatally shot by a Tulsa police officer named Betty Shelby. I know y'all seen her show. She comes on News on 6 sometimes. I think it's either 10, 9 p.m., somewhere around there, 9 to 10 p.m., somewhere. She be up there talking. Here's the story. Even though evidence showed Terrence Crutcher was an unarmed black man who was accused of reaching into his car for a weapon, video surveillance did not prove the accusation that were made by Officer Shelby was true. They were not true. The only weapon he had was called the hands on his head. That was the only weapon. And that's not a weapon. That's called I surrender. But the video that was obtained captured Crutcher with both of his hands on top of his head. You heard what I just said. Write that down. When he was shot, sadly, the evidence in this case did not support the pursuing criminal prosecution. In this case, the Justice Department found insufficient evidence to prove that Officer Shelby's use of force against Crutcher was objectively unreasonable. It was unreasonable. Like y'all going up and somebody, you go up in the bathroom, you start looking at people and then y'all just get in a fight. That is unreasonable. The person didn't say nothing to you. Yeah, I'm talking to y'all up on the front row. Yeah, I see that shameful look. Yeah, take your hoodie off. Take that hoodie off. Under the definition set by the United Supreme Court, Crutcher was killed by Officer Shelby and other deputies firing weapons into the vehicle of Crutcher. Okay. In another case in March of 2015, which involved a black student group, Unheard, they posted a video of members of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity at the University of Oklahoma singing a racist song that included lyrics that were full of racial propagandas directed at their group. Over 20 years ago, James Byrd Jr. was beaten, stripped naked, and tied to the back of a truck and drugged to death. He died. Y'all say y'all can take looking at someone being murdered. You think punching somebody up in the nose or breaking it is good. Well, let me tell you, if I had to come and tell you to come look at him, if I told you to come look at James Byrd Jr.'s body, there was nothing left. His skin was ripped off of him. He was dragged. His head was decapitated from his body. You want to know where? In Jasper, Texas. In Jasper, Texas. Yeah, y'all already looking dumb. Yes, Texas, where y'all go for summer, spring vacation, fall vacation. Oh! 3 men from the Ku Klux Klan committed these heinous crimes. The KKK committed these crimes. The crime committed against him was considered a hate crime just because he was black. In later years, another case that resembled hate towards a gay young student who went to the University of Wyoming captured the attention of people all around the world. This story targets severe hatred against Matthew Shepard. You may have heard him, you may have not. Let me read you the story. Who was lured from a bar by 2 white males. However, once they got Shepard in their truck, they beat him and robbed him. Just for $20. They beat him because he was gay, and they robbed him and only took $20 from him. They drove him to a remote area in Wyoming, tied him to a barbed wire fence, beating him in the face and head with a Smith & Wesson revolver over 20 times. Y'all think punching people are cute. Y'all think doing these things can get you somewhere. Y'all probably leave your bed and going to school like today, just thinking, there's nothing in this world. There is no racism, there is no hate. But today I have brought you all this for you to know there is hate. There is racism. Even for whites and blacks. And even Asians. He was left in freezing cold temperatures for 18 hours, but he did not die until 5 days later. I can probably grant you, when that boy was in the bar, and when those two white males befriended him, he thought, oh, wow, I got me some friends. He probably never thought he would end up like this. He never regained consciousness in 2009 passed, and President Obama signed the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Law Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act, expanding the federal definition of hate crimes, enhancing the legal toolkit available to prosecutors, and increasing the ability of federal law enforcement to support our state and local partners. Even though Shepard and Byrd were two men of different colors, they were both men destroyed by other people's intense hatred. Discrimination affects men just as much as women. So don't even give me this BS. I'm a feminist. Oh, men are done better than women. Huh? Women have it easy. Everybody can be hurt. Everybody goes through discrimination. It's not a gender thing. It's not a sex thing. It's not a religion thing. Everybody's done. It doesn't matter I'm wearing Gucci. You can still be discriminated because you're black. It doesn't matter you wearing Puma. They can still discriminate you because you are white. Right. In Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 4 years ago, a police officer by the name of Daniel Holtzclaw was accused and later found guilty of sexually harassing black women while on duty. Holtzclaw was convicted of 18 out of 36 charges of sexual harassment and sentenced to over 200 years in prison. It is devastating when an officer violates the law and uses his authority or her authority inappropriately. Van Z! Are you in here? Raise your hand. Oh, I see you, but you don't want to raise your hand. You already know you are guilty. You had a student in your school recently, and you gonna lie and say she was stalking a boy. Just because you have sick fetuses anyway. You're probably wondering for yourself. You're using your authority inappropriately. You even gonna try to talk her into agreeing with you. When your little story was a flat out lie. Yeah, just walk out of here. I already tell you, ready to go. Go. Go, 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 go. Because you know if I get off the stage, I'm just going to sit you down on this front row and I'm going to be preaching to you, boy. Officers and law enforcement take an oath to serve and protect the general public. Do you hear that? We are supposed to make an oath and serve the general public. So, Van Z, before you go, you made an oath to make sure these kids were taken care of. Not to lie on them. What type of principal are you? That's what I thought. Just start looking down. Because you know you can't handle this. And protect the general public. When a person in law enforcement demonstrates biased attitudes or action towards any person, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, etc., 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 they should face dire consequences, whether they work at local, state, or federal branch of government. So when Trump was messing around with Stormy Daniels, he needed to be impeached because he made an oath. Racial discrimination is affecting people who desire to work, own a home, even go to college. I have collected information regarding discrimination affecting minorities. There is a disparity even among blacks and whites who seek home ownership in the United States. The statistics report obtained will demonstrate the inequality among people by race. Here are some data about the population of how Caucasian people victimize people of minority race. Landlords refuse to let African Americans rent their place. Write that down. Landlords refuse to let African Americans rent their places. Until 1968, banks even denied giving mortgage loans based on home buyers' race or neighborhoods' demographics of what race is the highest in the neighborhood. So all y'all white people sit in your $1 million homes. Let me just attack y'all. Now y'all know a black person can get $1 million home. But if you keep doing this, it make it look like only white people are rich. They can afford $1 million homes. Anybody can get $1 million home if they put their mind to work.
Right.
It's not just a white thing or a black thing or an Asian or a Jap thing. Since I know y'all don't really know what Japanese are, you know them by Japs. Well, let me tell you what their real name are. Japanese. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Y'all thought it was funny when I said Japs. Uh-huh. Y'all could laugh, but when I put y'all straight and told you they were Japanese, you can't laugh anymore. You gonna put that painful face on. I'm not here to get in your lingo. I'm not. You need to know how to talk nowadays. I'm tired of these little slang talks. LOL. AF. Nobody knows what that stuff is. When the Federal Fair Housing Act had stated that these practices were very
Unconstitutional.
unconstitutional after 1968. The progress for African Americans was almost 50%. But, listen here. In the years of 2000 and 2008, the housing for African Americans were getting low. And now it's at 41.2. Now listen to this. While the Caucasian home ownership rate is 73%, the rates for home ownership involving minorities is lower than the percentage for Caucasians. The rates for each race that live in America are. Listen to the top of the line. Caucasian whites, 73.1. Let me repeat that again. Whites, 73.1. Since y'all do slang, just write number W. Asian, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders, just write ANHNPI is 58.2. Hispanics is 46.3. Just write the big capital H. African Americans, known as blacks, 41.7. Just write the letter B. Since y'all do all of that. Here you go. Listen to this here. These are ratings of many people by nationalities are home owners. That's so sad. The highest is white. Second in line, Asians and Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders. Third in line, Hispanics. And finally, last, Africans, Americans, and blacks. What do you say to that? What do you say? Ooh. These are things. These are the ratings of how many people by nationality are homeowners. Why are these ratings low for these particular groups? Research studies have proven insurance, mortgage rates, and insurance charges change the payments, causing minorities to become, what's the big word? To become homeless. Homeless. What do you see around this world? You drive down the interstate, you get off 169, you see a homeless vet. You see a homeless black person. You see a homeless white person. You see a homeless Asian. You see a homeless Hispanic. This is ridiculous. Homeless or live in smaller places in undesirable neighborhoods. Do you think people who live in apartments want to be living in apartments? Do you think these people who live up in North Tulsa want to live up in North Tulsa? Do you think the people that live up in Compton want to live in Compton? That's what I thought. Many working class Americans in every race have a great expectation to own a home. It is not fair to anyone to be denied the privilege of buying a home due to the color of their skin. Whoa! Do you think Okay, let's just say your parents just kicked you out one day. All your parents kicked you out. How would you feel? You go up in a bank, you ask for a home loan, and they tell you they can't give it to you because you're white. They can't give it to you because you're Asian. They can't give it to you because you're black. They can't give it to you because you're mixed. They can't give it to you because you're Hispanic. How would you feel? What would you do? Because you know you're not going to be able to just get up in a gang and kill everybody who does you wrong. Because you know they got a nice jail system. And the more people keep killing, the more they're going to be sitting behind bars. And they would love to give it down here instead of Oklahoma to a colored person. They even give you longer down here. In 1968, Congress made it a crime to use or threaten to use force to interfere with housing rights because of the victim's race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. According to unemployment in the U.S. in 2018, blacks had the highest unemployment rates. Do you think if it was reversed and white people had the highest? Just now, I'm going to have y'all get out your precious Gucci's, Nikes, Pumas, Filas, Adidas's, and I want you to put your feet up in the African American's shoes. Close your eyes real quick. I'm going to dim the lights up in here. And we're going to just spend a moment. Just one moment. How would you feel if you were told on your job you were fired because they got more white people in the position? How would you feel? Raise your hand if you would feel angry. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you too. And you. Okay, now put all your hands down. How many of y'all would feel happy? I'm glad to see nobody. How many of y'all would be sad? Raise your hand. Okay, got y'all. Now put your hands down. How many of y'all would go home and commit suicide? Really? Not like y'all really gonna do it, but how many of y'all were in that position? Raise your hand with all eyes shut. Y'all don't need to know who has these little soft hearts in here. Shut your eyes right here. Shut your eyes! Raise your hands up. Okay, got you. Got you. I got you too. Okay, now we're done. Okay, we got a real funny one. How many of y'all would get a gun and go over there and kill the person who told you were fired because they had too many white people? They already had what they wanted, so they want to get rid of one token. Raise your hand. Glad to see half of y'all would do it. Thank you. According to unemployment in the U.S. in 2018, blacks had the highest unemployment rate. The diagram listed above shows how minorities' unemployment rates are very high compared to Caucasians. African Americans, blacks, 6.5%, Hispanics, 4.7%, Caucasians, 3.5%, Asian, Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, 3%. Okay. You got that part. I want you to do something for me. Y'all. Before we end, I'm going to ask you one thing. Have y'all learned something today? I want everybody who's learned something, raise a hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise it up high. And don't care who looks. Okay. I'm glad. Put your hands down. Many minorities become homeless due to unforeseen circumstances like a loss of job, college debt, and poor wages. Racial discrimination is real in America. Write that in capitalized letters. Use your little fancy letters. I don't care. But still, put it in caps, bold. Racial discrimination is real in America. It is real. It is real. It is real. It is real. So whatever your parents tell you at home and they say, oh, racism doesn't exist. That was back then in the Union days. Back then when Martin Luther King was around. Back then when Abraham Lincoln was around. Back then when George Washington was around. Back then when Bill Clinton was in. Racism still exists. As long as we got people breeding it, going home saying, oh, Lord, I hate that black. Recently, I'm going to use this. Okay. Y'all kids, I'm going to use y'all white kids real quick. And blacks. But first I'm going to pick on the whites. Okay, so recently they were giving out babies for child development class. So many of y'all little white cells, all y'all white girls were getting black babies. They get cute and all that. First teacher says, so, is that a Negro baby in that basket? What y'all do? Run back to your teacher. I want a white baby. Yeah, give me that. I can't take it anymore. Okay, black kids, I'm sorry not to bother you too. Some of you had white babies. You were running back. Once a white teacher says, is that a white baby up in the basket? You run to your class. I gotta get rid of this baby. I feel real sad. I can't take my teacher picking at me anymore. I can't take my parents making fun of me anymore. I can't take the kids looking at me with anymore. I can't take it. Let them look. Let them say something. Because once you can give that baby up of a different color, that tells me, okay, let me start with your white girls real quick. Y'all say y'all gonna get with a black man. If you can't carry around a black baby, how you think you gonna get with a black man? How do you think you gonna get with a black man? White boys, how you think you gonna get with a black girl? Yeah, start looking smart. Start looking smart. Start looking smart. Yeah. If I told you to get up on this mic and say what you have to say, I can tell you you wouldn't look right. Oh. Black girls. Real quick, how you think you're going to get with a white man? You can go real quick and get rid of your white baby. Well, you know a baby comes from a man going up in a woman. And if you can run from getting a white baby, what will you do when you have a mixed baby? Same for the black boys. What will you do when you get with a white girl and the baby come out mixed? You going to be running saying you want to get rid of your baby? Because you can't do that because that baby's not made of plastic. And it's not a 2-day assignment. It's a forever assignment. Racial discrimination is real in America. Truly, it affects minorities, both the young and the old, males, females, bisexual, lesbians, gays, transgenders, hermaphrodites, you name it, affects everything. Even animals go through it. People get killed. Like, I don't know if you heard this. The dog that got killed in Texas because the owner was black and he had a pit bull. The white officer broke its neck.
That's sad.
Regardless of a person's complexion of skin, your color should not guarantee you the right to gain a home. It should not guarantee you the right to get a home, or to go to college, or have a top of the line position in a company or business. Our color means nothing, because if you cut my skin off, we all bleed. We all have red blood cells. We all have white blood cells. We all have brains. We all got eyes of different colors. It doesn't matter about our skin type. It just means we all carry a different form of melanin. I hate to embarrass you white kids up in here that are racist. When you die, you turn black. What I'm going to end with is, can we all just get along? Can we all just get along? Can we all just get along? Have a good day. I'm out.